He stopped outside the not-so-august portals of the Blue Gator, Bellerose's only drinking establishment. 18 years ago, the place had been an escape from the endless work of the farm and the heavy hand of his father. A place to dream and dazzle the pretty women who drove in from all over rural St. Tammany Parish. Back then, the one-story clapboard structure hadn't seemed quite so derelict, but the Blue Gator was as dilapidated as a place could be and still be standing. The front porch drooped like a sway-back nag. The weathered wood was as warped and gray as sun-bleached bones. The neon beer on tap sign looked incongruous behind the smeared glass of the single ancient window. It was the kind of place that wouldn't last a week in New Orleans, where the health inspectors made it their mission in life to hassle restaurant and bar owners and maybe even make a little cash on the side from the ones who could afford to avoid the aggravation of citations. But the Blue Gator was exactly the kind of place that wouldn't think twice about hiring an ex-con. Holding that thought, Nick swung open the door and entered the dimly lit interior. The bar reeked of spilled whiskey, old cigarette smoke, and the musty redolence of rotting wood. Slowly his eyes adjusted to the semi-darkness, and he was surprised by the quick jolt of familiarity. The same dented jukebox huddled against the wall next to the men's room door. A battered pool table sat at the rear of the room, its green felt surface scarred by decades of misuse and cigarette burns. Mike Pequenot, a man he'd gone to high school with a lifetime ago, stood behind the bar with a broom in his hand. Pequenot was an ex-biker with a fondness for Harley-Davidsons, blondes, and black leather, and Saturday night specials, as long as the serial number was filed off. He'd lost a leg in a motorcycle accident right before Nick left for New Orleans. He'd never bothered with a prosthesis, but it didn't look like the missing limb had slowed him down. Pequenot stopped sweeping and looked at Nick. Mais gardez donc ça. Well, just look at that. He said the words in fluent Cajun French. If it ain't my favorite con. Ex-con. Nick corrected and walked to the bar. Il n'a un bon bout. It's been a good while. When did you get sprung? C'est avant-midi. This morning. Leaning on the broom, Pequenot turned and snagged 2 shot glasses and a bottle of dark rum from the shelf. The good stuff he saved for special occasions. He set the glasses on the bar and proceeded to break the seal and pour. I've been saving this for you, Nicky. Pequenot's biceps were the size of cypress trunks and just as hard. His brown hair was receding slightly, but he'd slicked it back and pulled it into a neat ponytail that reached halfway down his back. He wore a black leather vest with silver studs, faded blue jeans with a big silver buckle, and a steel-toed biker boot. Welcome back to bumfuck, my man. He slid a shot glass to Nick. This one's on the house. Nick looked down at the glass. I'm on parole, Mike. Fuck the Louisiana Department of Corrections. I sure as hell ain't going to tell them. Nick didn't mention that he would be driving down to New Orleans to piss in a cup once a week for the next 5 years. But he knew that by the time next week rolled around, the alcohol would be long gone from his system, so he picked up the glass. To new beginnings and old friends. Pequenot downed the double in one swallow. Nick did the same, shuddering when the rum burned all the way to his belly. He watched a heavy-set woman in tight jeans and a black halter top feed quarters into the jukebox. An instant later, an old Stevie Ray Vaughan song blared from mammoth speakers situated on either side of the bar. That your wife? Nick asked. Rita. Pequenot refilled his glass.